the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Oh, boy. Not good, not good, not good. Just flat out bad. A terrible look by the Jaguars today during their nearly 2-hour scrimmage at the Miller Electric Center. And I can't figure it out. Just sloppy, lack of focus. You know, I don't think there's fatigue, whether it's mental or physical. They just did not look like a good football team today. And, you know, that is very disturbing. It is. Now, you can crumple it up and throw it out and say it was just a bad day. Or you can attack it once again. And, you know, Liam Cohen told us, I asked a question about changing his overall philosophy on what to do as the head coach at his first training camp. And everything is mapped up, right? Everything is part of a blueprint. But I do believe it can be fluid. And, you know, my guess would be this scrimmage 15 days ago was not a part of it. Or actually, this is practice number 15. So it's been over a month because of off days and a game and what have you. I don't know that. I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, this is kind of rare, and I understand they only get one practice with Miami next week before they play the Dolphins, not two. But I wonder if the situation is fluid, and I wonder if that continues now down the road because they're just not getting it. And, you know, there's really no other way to say it. 10 penalties today. 3, maybe 4 false starts. By the offensive line. We talked about it a week ago Tuesday. They had 5 penalties on that offensive line. Then on Wednesday morning, they had 2 penalties. We saw what happened on the very first play in the preseason game against Pittsburgh. And during that 12-play drive, you had 3 penalties, and the end result is, you know, settling for a Cam Little field goal. He was spectacular again today. He made everything. Phenomenal special teams. But, you know, double-digit penalties today. I'm guessing 7, maybe 8 drops. I mean, these are professionals. And the very first play of the scrimmage, Trevor Lawrence to Brian Thomas Jr., a drop. I come in here every night and tell you that Brian Thomas Jr. is putting the ball on the carpet. I keep giving you the obligatory, it's almost like I'm protecting everything. And saying, oh, he'll be all right. Oh, he's a better game day player than he is a practice player. But he was frustrated again today. He did respond later. Trevor found him, and it was on 3rd down, and it was in the red zone. And it was a highly contested pass where Trevor once again rolled out and looked really good and found Thomas Jr. There was some good today. As a matter of fact, the first drive, unofficially, I think Trevor Lawrence was 7 of 10 on the drive, a very heavy passing first drive. And they went the entire field. There were 2 drops. I just mentioned one by Brian Thomas Jr. He had a pass interference by Andrew Wingard, who, you know, did play well. Again today, he had a pick, and, you know, that's the bad side of it. One of the worst balls I've seen Trevor Lawrence throw all year. If I didn't know better, I would have thought it was Blake Bortles out there. He just completely sailed one over the head of Parker Washington, and Dewey was there for, you know, the easy pick. But the first drive, it looked like, okay, you know, this thing's going to go. Then all of a sudden it stalls, and Anton Harrison goes down, an undisclosed injury. Can't have it. Saw him after practice out of respect for the Jaguars organization. I'm just going to leave it at that as far as undisclosed. But I watched him during one-on-ones before the scrimmage started. he had a really good rep. He beat Trayvon Walker in a one-on-one rep. Most were watching the skill position guys, corners against wide receivers. I slid over and watched the offense against the defensive line. So, Harrison got off to a good start. Then he goes down. And you look at the left and right tackle situation, man, it was a revolving door today. Harrison goes down. Then all of a sudden it's Fred Johnson at right tackle. Then it's Patrick McCarry at right tackle. I'm talking with the first team here now, okay? Wyatt Milam. Then Walker Little goes over to the right tackle position. They put Fred Johnson over at left tackle. And then they put in Chuma Edoga, who did get the start at right guard. The starting five, Harrison at tackle, Edoga at guard. The odd man out was Patrick McCarry. You hate for this offensive line if, in fact, it's going to get settled because of attrition. That's worst case scenario. I really wanted some competitiveness. I really wanted to see what this staff was going to do about putting together, their best overall 5 offensive linemen. And I was really hoping today in a scrimmage that lasted nearly 2 hours that we were going to see Anton Harrison get a few at-bats at left tackle. And, of course, he went out, so that did not happen. Don't make any mistake about it. Travis Etienne is RB1. He got the first 2 drives, it was exclusively him. He got plenty of play. He's touching the football. We saw it Saturday night. He had 2 carries and 1 screen. Today again, just running the football. He's RB1. Now, you can do whatever you want with that. There's some that believe they're showcasing it. They're going to move him, and they're going to go with the young guys. How about Allen Jr. today getting the responsibility with pass protection, first team offense a little bit later throughout the scrimmage to see what he could do in that situation. Again, one of the or two, when you look at Tootin and you look at Allen Jr., both are considered well-rounded backs. Guys who can run it, obviously. Guys who have really good hands. And in the case of the 2 rookies as well, in pass protection. And we did see that a little bit earlier today. But Tank Bigsby, did score a touchdown on that very first drive. It was maybe the best run of the day. Showed some hips and some wiggle. And with his vision, was able to score a touchdown. And then later on, he had another drop. It's like a daily drop for Tank Bigsby. And you just continue to ask yourself, oh, boy. We documented it yesterday. You look at Liam Cohen's 2 backs a year ago, they caught 98 balls, 800 yards of offense. Tank Bigsby becomes a one-trick pony. When he's in, he's doing 2 things. He's either running the football or he's going to be asked to pass protect. And many believe these rookies are better in pass protection than Tank Bigsby. The more we go through camp, the more I really wonder, is Tank Bigsby a quote-unquote Liam Cohen type of back? I don't know the answer to that question, but unfortunately for him, as I said yesterday, Tank Bigsby has feet for hands. He cannot catch the football. And, that in itself is really a disappointment. So here's where we are before we bring in Mark Duffner, who was at the scrimmage today as well. Mark Duffner, oh, by the way, 50 years of coaching, including right here in Jacksonville, is a former linebacker coach, calls Ponte Vedra his home and has for quite some time. If Jacksonville plays in a couple of weeks against Carolina the way they did today, they're going to lose. There's no other way to say it. They're going to lose. All right? And camp is camp. Practice is practice. Okay? And I want to kind of believe that, but every time I say it, 4 wins and 13 losses are there to remind us, this team has to get better. They have to fix things, and they've tried. I mean, look at what they did earlier in the week with that 40-play, just line up, snap the ball, and blow the whistle. And again, you come out today, you have 10 penalties? So it's scary. It is. Now, can it be fixed? Yes. And I'm going to go through this entire scrimmage today. I have a lot to do. I caught up with Jordan Jefferson. I did ask Trevor Lawrence an interesting question about playing this weekend. And that's what it really comes down to now. The conventional thinking is starters aren't playing Sunday at 1 o'clock. They're not going to go against the Saints. And starters today, they did go 1 against 1, which I loved. They got a lot of reps today, okay? How fluid, again, is that situation? If they had a great practice today, would they have been told, you're out on Sunday? But since they struggled, do you have to get them more work against New Orleans? I believe so, even after a Tuesday padded practice and a Thursday scrimmage. Most disagree and say, no, they're not going to play. Boy, I wish we had Liam Cohen today when he was raw, when his emotions had to have been just all over the place. Instead, we'll get him tomorrow. But that becomes a huge part of this. What is the plan for Sunday? Well, let me give you the plan for your eyes, as our opening comments each and every night are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. It's pretty simple. The kids are back in school. It's a crazy time of year. How are their eyesight? And that applies all the way through grade school and junior high and high school. A prescription update? Absolutely. Shmunez Vision. But it's much more than that. How about laser eye surgery? Can you imagine the rest of your life never having to wonder where your readers are, never have to deal with passing out and then waking up and having your contacts in? No. Laser eye surgery, 2020 for the rest of your life. Regardless of what the surgery is, that would be a one. If it's a need, there's a problem, okay? You go to the best, Shmunez Vision, Dr. Neo Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt. That's more than 30 years worth of experience. Check them out online, Shmunez Vision, or go to Instagram. Get all of the testimonials there. All right, I am really excited about this show tonight. I am. Yeah, I feel a lot of panic in this city. I do. It's oozing right through the microphone, into the cans, into my eardrums. A lot of panic right now with this football team. Let's take a look at it. We begin with Mark Duffner. He goes into the night, and he's coming up next.
Get a look behind the throw with Denny Thompson.
Yeah, I want to tell you what's really happening at the quarterback position.
Denny Thompson is the quarterback whisperer. Friday mornings on The Drill, revved up by George Moore Chevrolet and Tyson Sound and Security on 1010XL. Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and my knee was getting worse, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
We've all seen great overtime games and thrilling finishes, but when it comes to having a big time, knowing when to say when is key. Budweiser reminds you to win the day and night by designating a driver. That's a victory every time.
The first half champion Jumbo Shrimp are home at newly renovated VyStar Ballpark this week and weekend. Join us tonight for Coors Light Thirsty Thursday and Military Appreciation presented by Tulsa Welding and Outfront Media. Fireworks tomorrow courtesy of the Florida Department of Health, and Saturday the first 2,000 fans through the main gate get a Jumbo Shrimp pickleball paddle courtesy of First Watch. Baseball all weekend.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Mark Duffner joins us in about 30 seconds. Really fired up for the conversation with him. I do want to remind you that tonight's show is brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. All right, let's go to alexanderlawpractice.com. Get everything. If you've been injured, personal injury, particularly if it happened in an auto accident, you need to take notice. For starters, 400-6600. Free call, free review, okay? And you're going to get an immediate call back. Then they're going to take a look at everything. You're going to get the individualized attention that you need. And you're never going to come out of pocket. You may be with a wrecked car. You can't get to work. You can't pay bills. These are the type of questions you ask Rick Alexander and the good folks at Alexander Law Practice. They're there for you. They could work their way with you to get this solved until the very end. And then obviously that's going to prosper for you. But to get everything, just go to Alexander Law Practice, or again, for a free consultation, give them a phone call at 400-6600, Alexander Law Practice.
Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
One of my favorite coaches is Mark Duffner. He's done it for 50 years, 22 in college, 28 in the NFL. That included him being a head coach at Holy Cross in Worcester, which is a Mark Duffner driver and a couple of 3-woods from where I grew up. And, of course, he coached right here, 2006, 2013. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing great, Rick. Appreciate being on.
Well, man, today was sloppy. Today was ugly. How do you handle this if you're a coach to be this far through training camp and just all the mistakes they made today, Mark, both mentally and physically on the football field during that scrimmage?
Well, I think, again, you take advantage of the moment to teach. There was a lot that went on, but there was also some positives. You don't overlook the negatives. I think obviously the coaches will take those snaps and show the problems that they had and continue to beat the drum of, look, we're not going to beat ourselves. We've got a competitive enough schedule with the opponents we've got. We don't see Jacksonville on that. So, we're going to have to continue to work on a lot of the pre-snap situations that I think that defensively they got better at today. But offensively, some of the false starts and some of the situations which, are going to stop drives and lose field position are components that they can't have. And then, there was some drop passes out there that just it wasn't as crisp as I'm sure the coaching staff and the players wanted. So they've got to take advantage of that. It's got to hurt them a little bit. They got to feel that a little bit, and they've got to come back and take advantage of probably a lighter practice tomorrow, and then have a really productive game, coming up against New Orleans.
You've seen everything in 50 years as a coach, but, throughout camp, I've really liked what I've seen with Anthony Campanelli in this defense. And then all of a sudden the starters, they just can't do anything this past Saturday night. So, I'm sure it's not rare, but how do you react to that with it being game one and them not getting the job done?
Well, I think that you got to be thoughtful in your reaction. You got to realize that, hey, this is, again, it's still a new system. Now that's about over with. They've had a chance to go through the spring, and they've already gone through one preseason game, and so repetition is still paramount. We've got to know, as we've already talked about, they've got to know their assignment alignment adjustment. They had a kind of a redo of that on Monday in their practice to get properly aligned up. I think things that are easily fixed: communication, talk with your hands and mouth before the snap, after the snap. Those things, I think they've worked on. It looked better to me today. I'm talking specifically on defense. They've got to, execute better, and it's only going to get better, again, with repetition and opportunities. There was too many explosives against the Steelers. I'm talking about pass explosives. I think for third down defense, red zone defense, all those areas they've focused in on. They've gone through those in terms of practice mechanics, and then just the mechanics of the game itself. You can never shortchange what true experience is. I mean, this was the first time this coaching staff was communicating in a true game situation to their players, and so getting the calls in so your guys can get lined up, the defense being able to handle tempo, the speed of the game, the tempo of the offense. That reared its head a little bit on Saturday. It worked on it in the course of practice. It was better today. So, I think you continue the process. We don't panic. You can't do that. You've got to keep your eye on the ball and on the prize and continue just to preach again. Hey, men, we're gonna play fast and physical, but we're gonna know what we're gonna do. We're gonna know how we're gonna line up, and we're going to finish on the ball.
Mark Duffner is our guest, 50 years as a coach, including a linebacker coach right here in Jacksonville, 2006 through 2013. What do you like about this defense? What stands out to you?
Well, I think a couple of things. One, I like that they've got, first and foremost, the two edge guys, Josh and Trayvon. They've got their forces to be reckoned with, and I think in terms of both edge setters against the run, also obviously disruptors in the passing game with their rush ability. So I think there's it already has been demonstrated, but some true big playability in that group as far as what those two guys can do in a game. I think and I want to, I know they're looking forward to seeing that start to, show up. I like that. I like the fact that they've got, some corners that I think that have really good playability. There's going to be good competition there. I was particularly impressed early in the camp, with watching Jordan Lewis at the nickel position. I would have loved to have had him in places I've been in the past, but I like him. I like Jarian Jones. Anyway, I think the corner position's good. I think there's going to be some real good competition at the safety position, and then I think at linebacker in particular, I like Foye in particular because all that guy does is make plays. Now he's I'd like to see and I know they'd like to see even more big plays, tackles for loss, things that are splash in some respect, but he's pretty consistent getting to the football, and, that's what it's all about, production. When you play at linebacker in particular, how many hits you make for the number of plays you're in is real important, and this kid's been a very active player in his career, and, I look forward to seeing that continue in what he does for the defense.
I thought Dennis Gardeck had a pretty good day today, both in individual drills, rushing the passer, and then, during 11 on 11. I know there's 90 guys out there, so you can't watch anyone, but did you get an impression from him earlier this morning?
Yes, I did, Rick, and that's just what you said. He did show up. This guy's been a pretty productive player in his career. He's been at Arizona in the past, and I think is a really good, get for the Jaguars and what he'll bring in both experience, in pressure, in terms of pass rush or blitz ability. and just being a playmaker. He's got good movement skills. So I think they got a lot of value from him, from what Dennis will bring. And I, now that he's healthy and he can get into the rotation, I think he's going to be a producer for him.
Can turnovers or let's put it takeaways? I mean, we hear in baseball that hits are contagious. And, last year, only 8 defensive takeaways. Since the summer, when there was no contact, throughout training camp where there has been contact, boy, has this team really worked on taking away the football. Can that practice, can that work? Can it really make a difference? Or Mark, is it more of just being in the right place at the right time?
Well, I think that there's a commitment to it, and as you've already said, Rick, the staff and the players have made a commitment to doing it in practice. And you can't get them unless you try. You can't do them. You can't get them unless you practice trying to get them. And I see that in terms of the focal point that Anthony and the defensive coaches are putting forth. So, that's how you're going to win the game. I mean, it's the truest component to winning games is taking the ball off people, takeaways. If you can get 2 or 3 takeaways away from your opponent, your chances to win the game are 75% and up. And so, you can list a whole bunch of statistics, but if you win the takeaway battle, you're likely to win the game. On the converse side, teams that protect the football and have great ball security, they tend to be in the high percentage to win the game. It's incredible when you present to your team the statistics of takeaway and turnover percentage and how it equates to winning. So they've got to. I mean, it's got to be a priority first. And that's all about effort too. But you've got to do it to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't happen unless you try.
Final minute with Mark Duffner joining us here on Into the Night with Rick Ballou. All right, give us a few seconds. What have you seen with Travis Hunter?
Oh, geez, Pete, Rick. I mean, what have I seen? I've seen a pretty rare. No, I've seen a lot. I mean, I've seen a rare athlete first and foremost. I mean, there's a bunch of good athletes on that field. They've got a good roster of athletes, but this guy is maybe even another notch up and real impressive with what I've seen there on both sides of the football. And he's a smooth athlete. It looks like he's doing things somewhat effortlessly. Really a very, very talented athlete. The fact that he's able to right now compete in a first-rate way on both sides of the football is just incredible. I mean, the value of that pick in terms of what he, we're often looking for guys that we would call twofers. They can play a couple positions or they can provide depth at a couple spots. I mean, when this guy can do what he can do as a corner, as a defensive back, and then also as a threat as a receiver and offensive player it's rare. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's done. I'll tell you what, too. The other night, one of the first plays in the Pittsburgh game that he was in at corner, he had to fill as cloud corner on the backside. They had a cutback play, and the ball wound back, and he would have made this tackle 10 out of 10, I'm sure. He missed the tackle, but he would have made it for no gain, probably 10 out of 10. I've seen him do it in his collegiate film. But he didn't, it didn't take him over. He played the next snap. He didn't lose his focus. So I'm impressed with some of the maturity I see from him, just, body language-wise and also, true mechanics and way he's playing. So, tremendous pickup for the Jaguars.
Leave us with this. I think there's no doubt I'm playing starters Sunday at New Orleans. A lot of my colleagues are like, it's not going to happen. They had a padded practice Tuesday. They had a 2-hour scrimmage today. What do you think's going to happen there?
Well, I don't know what coach will do. I know if you're asking me what I would recommend, if I was on the coaching staff, I would recommend to coach that they play the entire first half. And I'd even consider playing them the first drive of the second half. And,
wow.
And, I really
love
would.
it. I love it.
And the reason I would, Rick, is first of all, I just think that I would do that with a lot of teams. But I'm saying in particular, again, first-time staff with this group, I'd take advantage of every game rep I can get. I don't care if it's against whoever. I mean, I just would – anytime you get a chance to play it against an opponent – and you can get game reps, I mean, they're invaluable. And it's the mechanics, it's the coaching to coach, the coach to player, the player to player, all those things that go on. And then you've got some situations where you're trying to evaluate your best player at each position. and trying to get those groups. Well, how do you get that? You get it best, I think, in completing the picture a little bit going against another opponent. So I would throw the injury caution a little bit to the wind in favor, especially in this particular situation with this team. I would take advantage of the reps and, like I said, play him at least the first half. I really would.
He went 65-1 at Holy Cross, ladies and gentlemen, before becoming the head coach at Maryland, and he's most remembered around here for being the linebackers coach in Jacksonville years 2006 through 2013. He is Mark Duffner. Really enjoyed it, Mark. Looking forward to doing it again, and have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, Rick. I really enjoyed being with you, and all the best to you.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow over at the Miller Electric Center as the Jaguars have yet another practice coming up on Friday. I love it. You got to play these guys on Sunday. They did not perform well today. I mean, you got way too much time off. We know they're not going to play in Miami. At least that's the thinking, because they're going to practice with Miami. But let's come back, and I asked Trevor Lawrence that question. Let's do that on the other side. Caught up with the quarterback after today's scrimmage. Thank you to Mark Duffner. Let's get you involved as well. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also join us on YouTube. Go to 1010XL into the night.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy is never frozen. Always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses. No dry, crumbly subs here. Only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand and a quality sandwich. So do what I do. Stop in at a Circle K and make yours a Dandy today.
It's kind of like his own private locker, and you're his guest.
Every time we talk, I'm reinvigorated by my love of the game.
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Hayes Blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Calling all poker players. The Best Bet Summer Swing Series kicks off August 18th at Best Bet Orange Park with a $200 no-limit hold'em and a $100,000 guarantee. Next stop, Best Bet St. Augustine with a $150,000 guaranteed poker tournament. Then wrap it up Labor Day weekend in Jacksonville with a massive $300,000 guarantee. Play all 3 events and swing for big winnings. Get all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Leonard Skinnard is coming home, and they're bringing the Stars and Stripes. Celebrate Southern rock and American pride with Leonard Skinnard Rocks the Red, White, and Blue. It's a special night to support St. Michael's soldiers and the brave men and women of our armed forces.
Singing songs about Southland.
Saturday, November 8th at Daly's Place. Tickets on sale now, only at Ticketmaster. Daly'sPlace.com for details. Be there when Skinnard rocks for those who serve.
I'm Frank Frangie, and you've heard me tell you how much success my daughter Amber is having with the Awaken 180 weight loss program. But Amber, maybe it's time you should tell them.
I think they'd rather hear from you, Dad. You're the radio guy.
Yeah, but in this case, you're the one doing all the work.
But that's the thing, Dad. It doesn't feel like work. The food is great. I never feel hungry. My coach, Mary, is so good, so encouraging. If you follow the plan, Awaken 180 really works.
Well, everyone I know that's tried it has said the same thing. The result is people not only look better, but they feel better. I've kind of known you your whole life, and I can tell you feel great.
I feel better than I have in years. I love that part. I feel so good. I have Awaken 180 to thank for that.
So you heard it from my kid, and you can feel great too. Just call 1-844-346-1800. That's 1-844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com and start your transformation today.
Let's get the work done.
Training camp is here.
Up, quick feet, quick feet, quick feet.
1010XL's training camp coverage is backed by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Let's go, here we go, let's go. It's live now, let's go.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This has got to be the offensive lines, theme for 2025. You agree? The late Lou Graham no longer with Foreigner. I think they were in town maybe 2 or 3 months ago when I went St. Aug Amp. I think I paid $850 for basically a Foreigner cover band.
Nice.
But I was in the pit. And, you have a couple of cocktails, maybe a cigar before. And, life is all about pretending. I know a lot of people close their eyes and pretend and think about other things. But you can do that during cover bands as well.
Yeah, I've never been in a mosh pit. I've only been to...
It wasn't a mosh pit. I was the youngest one there at
That's
Foreigner.
funny.
Okay, it was anything but a mosh pit.
But yeah, with a concert with a bunch of people, I know this isn't exactly what you were talking about, but Woodstock 99, I would just watch a lot of those videos.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to be in the middle of any of that.
No,
It's
that's
insane.
Yeah, no doubt. Mick Jones is still with him, one of the original. They're kind of a hybrid band, right? They're obviously out of New York, right out of the city, but I think they have a couple of originals that joined them from across the pond. Okay. It was not a good practice. It was not a good scrimmage for the Jaguars. There were some positive moments. I'm going to share them with you as we move throughout, but you just heard Mark Duffner, 50 years as a coach. Okay, this is now what it comes down to. After a padded practice Tuesday and a padded practice with a scrimmage today, you know that tomorrow is basically going to be a walkthrough. It's a shorter practice. I think it starts at 11:30 and wraps up. Let me see here. I think it wraps up around. I think it's only a 1 hour practice tomorrow. Let's see here. Man, I try to eliminate all these emails because, especially the ones that are not that important. All right, let's see. Friday, 11:30 to 12:40, and then we're going to hear from Liam Cohen at 12:40. So that'll be pretty cool. But it's going to be a walkthrough, and then they're going to travel to New Orleans on Saturday. You got to play them. You have to play them. And I understand the risk. All of a sudden, your secondary is beaten up. All of a sudden, you got injuries now, once again in the ditch. And that includes Anton Harrison, who went down a little bit earlier today. He did so very early in the scrimmage. But you're going to hit Sunday or not. And then you have next week a practice with Miami. And, most believe you don't play in that third and final game. You're going to allow all those days to go by. I mean, this is the 14th day of August. Opening day is September 7th. That's way, way too long. So I say play him. What do you say? 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures on our text line. Also on YouTube, go to 1010XL into the night. All right, after practice today, I asked Trevor Lawrence this. I said, sloppy practice with all the drops and all of the penalties. In your opinion, does this change anything? And I went on to ask him, I said, if you guys had a really good practice today, the thought was that you would not play Sunday at New Orleans. But since it wasn't a good practice, are you expecting to play on Sunday. Here's what Trevor Lawrence said.
Yeah, I expect to play. I mean, that's the kind of the mindset in the preseason, is expecting to play, and it's always kind of a very variable very number of snaps. You don't really know exactly what it's going to be, but expecting to play. I'm not sure if the result of today's practice would or wouldn't have changed it. I don't know as far as what coach is thinking, but I'm prepared to play, and from what he's communicated to us, we're prepared to go and play a little bit. So it's just another opportunity for us to get better. I think you got to take it for what it is and learn from it and watch the tape, and you can't be doom and gloom come game time because we had a rough practice. You got to be able to bounce back.
I feel like I know what you're feeling, and that is you're tired of hearing we got to clean things up. We can't make these mental errors. They're pre-snap penalties. You're tired of it, right? It's understandable. And my guess, this is driving Liam Cohen nuts. That's my guess. Boy, I wish we had him today. It would have been intriguing to hear what he says. He's got an opportunity, obviously, to cool down after he watches the film, and hopefully it's a good walkthrough or, a non-padded practice tomorrow. So I'd imagine that his thought process may be a little bit different. I'm not telling you it's broken. I'm not telling you that this team isn't going to do anything this year. What I will tell you is I am very surprised at what I saw out there today. And I wish I had the word or words to describe it. I don't think there was lack of enthusiasm. I don't think there was lack of juice. They just weren't productive. And it's one of two things. It's either a bad day or maybe this team is not as good as I thought it was. I don't have that answer right now. It's impossible to give you that answer, through 15 practices over at the Miller Electric Center. But that is where we're at this particular time. All right, we got much more to do. I also caught up with Jordan Jefferson after practice today, so get an opportunity to bring him on. But let's line it up with your questions. Again, text line 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Getting a lot of good stuff coming in as well on YouTube. 1010XL into the night.
Number 9 opens up his teal and black bag of memories.
Let's go, Googans. Let's go, Googans.
David Garrard joins Mike and Fat Tony on Jaguars Today. Mondays on 1010XL. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. The Everbank London Getaway Experience. One lucky winner and a guest get round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and tickets to see the Jags play in London. Everbank.com/London for official rules. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Everbank London Getaway Sweeps entry period 7/28/25 to 9/5/25. Enter and get official rules and details at everbank.com/London.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Looking for your new favorite hangout this football season? Try Voodoo Brewing Company in the heart of San Marco. Locally owned and community focused, Voodoo Brewing serves up award-winning beers, scratch-made upscale pub fare, and laid-back vibes where everyone's welcome. For live music, trivia nights, and all the football action this season, make Voodoo Brewing Company Jacksonville your new favorite spot on San Marco Square.
Tailgaters parking season passes are on sale now. Secure your Jaguar season parking today. Enjoy indoor restrooms, a full-service bar and grill, access 4 hours before kickoff. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and book your space today.
Right now at Beard's Diamonds, pay $0 down and get 0 interest financing for 5 whole years. Yes, you heard it right. That $12,000 designer engagement ring is yours now for just $200 a month. This makes everything affordable. How about a $6,000 diamond eternity band, just $100 a month? Say goodbye to high interest rates. Get the relief you deserve at Beard's Diamonds. But hurry, this incredible offer ends August 31st and will not be extended. How about a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, only $50 a month? Make any purchase and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 down and 0 interest financing. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, pendants, colored gemstone jewelry. Let our non-commissioned experts at Beard's help you find the perfect piece of jewelry and take advantage of our best financing offer ever. Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center, Jacksonville's premier locally owned jeweler. Shop now and enjoy 0 interest financing for 5 years. Hurry, this amazing offer ends August 31st. On approved credit, some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Cleaning Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house Zero Resified. And right now, you can get your entire home clean from Jacksonville's ultimate carpet cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res. AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Send your favorite person a sweet summer surprise today from Kuhn Flowers, creating memories for over 70 years. This is Max, and it's just so easy. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com. Jacksonville and Ponte Vedra.
1010XL is presented by Barra & Barra, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars scrimmage today over at the Miller Electric Center. Some good, some bad. We did see one-on-ones today. One setback, that is Anton Harrison, undisclosed injury. He got the start at right tackle with Chuma Edoga getting the start at right guard. So the odd man out was Patrick McCarry. Good news today. Before practice, we learned that Mason Smith has been taken off the pup. What do you know? I actually got one right. I thought he was closest and, not involved today. They'll bring him along slowly. I'd be shocked if he plays. Coming up Sunday in New Orleans, I just think you need to bring him along. And, they're going to ask an awful lot of this second-year player. He really needs to have a big year in the interior defensive line. I was watching Eric Armstead work on the side, watching Tyson Campbell work on the side, and this is football, and this is the risk, okay? I still think you have to play your starters this weekend, but all of a sudden your secondary, oh boy. I mean, Tyson Campbell, this is his 3rd straight practice that he's missed. You're already without Buster Brown. And, Mason Smith comes back. That's a good thing. You still have Armstead. And now you go to the other side of the football. You're already without your swing tackle in Cole Van Lannon. Now you add to that your starting right tackle, Anton Harrison. So that part just really disappoints me because this was a good competition. And I hate when attrition solves it. You know what I mean? I wanted to see, I've been saying for quite some time, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, but Ed Oga's won a job. You're not going to, I just can't say you're going to knock him out of there. He won that job. And then, it came down to, all right, what are they going to do here? Are you going to play McCarry after all the money they spent? Are you going to start him at right tackle? Well, now it almost feels like, that's become a given if Harrison all of a sudden can't play. There was some talk. We didn't see nearly enough reps. We haven't, but, if Walker Little struggles, could Anton Harrison go to the left side? Would have loved to have seen him work there today on the left side, but unfortunately he did go down. Travis Hunter played both ways. Started on defense. He doesn't get challenged. He's so sticky in coverage. And I was watching him against Brian Thomas Jr. You would just, I guess that's unfair to say challenge him anyway, right? I mean, the offense is trying to do what they need to do, and that is move the football down the field and score. But it just seems like whether it was the scrimmage at the bank, the plays that he had against Pittsburgh, or again today in a scrimmage, they're not throwing the ball to his side. He made a couple of nice plays. He had one pass breakup, but not nearly challenged enough as far as I am concerned. I actually like what they did with him offensively. There were a couple of times where they just got him the ball, short stuff, screens. And, I think that that's a big part of what Jacksonville's going to do this year. Just find a way to get these skill position players the football and let them have at it. So they did that a couple of times. And then, Trevor did air it out a few to Hunter, which ended up being incomplete. Jarian Jones had a really good day. He continues to put together good practices. Had a couple of PBUs. And that included during the final play of the scrimmage. Really good coverage on Brian Thomas Jr. And again, he had the pass breakup. Hines Allen would have had a sack today. Walker would have had a sack today. Ogba would have had a sack today. So, some good things there as well. No one really stuck out for me at linebacker. I did mention Dennis Gardeck, both in one-on-ones and, in team play. Looked maybe better than I expected. Need to see more. And there's a guy right there who absolutely has to play Sunday. I mean, the guy's missed most of camp. And he's been doing some individual drills. He needs teamwork. I mean, you got to find out, what are you going to get out of Dennis Gardeck? This guy's a wild card in this. He could end up being your third linebacker. He could end up doing some good things for you, a veteran in this league, or, this could be the end of the road. But pretty positive practice as far as I'm concerned with him today as well. So there you have it. That is that is basically it. And the rotation of the offensive line is scary. If you're joining us for the first time, they used 6 right tackles today. I'm talking about 6 right tackles with the first team when Harrison went out. Fred Johnson went over there. Patrick McCarry went over there. Wyatt Milam went over there. Milam, it wasn't his best day. He was lined up against Josh Hines Allen a couple of times, and the veteran he whooped him. And for the record, that's what you would expect. If you hear there's a Josh Hines Allen Wyatt Milam battle, you expect Josh Hines Allen to win it, and he did. He had a better day. A couple of penalties, I believe, by Milam, again out of the 10 that this football team had. But they moved Walker Little from the left side to the right side, and also moved Chuma Edoga from right guard to right tackle. So they used 6 right tackles today. That's going to be disappointing to me if we find out that Harrison's out for some time. And I don't know that. Again, it's undisclosed. He could be back this weekend. But you understand what I'm trying to say, Dylan? I wanted to see this thing get solved by competition, not by attrition.
100%.
Yeah, and that is disappointing if, in fact, that's the case. All right, let's do this. We got a second hour coming up right now. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to load it up with you, your questions, your opportunity right now, this hour. 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Welcome those on YouTube. You can fire away as well. 1010XL into the Knights.
Jaguars football lives here. Next up, the New Orleans Saints. Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1010XL. Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Now this is how you end a summer. Under the lights, surrounded by history. The driver's last shot at the playoffs. Your last chance to see regular season action. Friday night, Xfinity lights the fuse. Saturday night, the Cup Series delivers the fireworks. This is Daytona. This is everything. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 14, 2016, Jamaican superstar Usain Bolt wins his third gold in the 100 meters, the first man to win the event 3 times.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Ballou here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jacksonville wraps up the week tomorrow morning at the Miller Electric Center. Then they will play Sunday at 1 o'clock in New Orleans. Today, nearly a 2-hour scrimmage. Not good on offense. Absolutely sloppy, lack of focus. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 drops, 10 penalties. Not all on offense, but just it wasn't a great day. It started well, first team. Trevor went 7 of 10. There were 2 drops and a pass interference by Dewey. But Tank took it in on a nice run. First play of scrimmage. Trevor Lawrence to Brian Thomas Jr. A drop. How many times have I talked about that? With Brian, here's the 9247. They say, Ballou, slap some Shmunez vision and some glasses on Brian Thomas Jr. He's clearly frustrated. You know, I don't know how else to say it. 6 right tackles today with the first team. You know, the big concern is Anton Harrison. He went out, and it's undisclosed. And they just can't afford to have any injuries on that offensive line. So, you know, Fred Johnson, Patrick McCarry, Wyatt Milam, Walker Little slid over, and Chuma Adoga slid over. He actually started at right guard. So, some good news. Mason Smith off the PUP. There's a guy they absolutely need to come in and help that defense. And also a very noticeable day for Dennis Gardeck, which is encouraging. Jarian Jones, probably the best defensive day. Travis Hunter went both ways, started on defense, wasn't really challenged. I want to see some deep ball challenges, and came on offense, caught a couple of screens, and then Trevor missed them with a few. Trevor had a nice day. The touch, I guess I see here 17 of 23 for Trevor. Again, all the drops. It was a good day. It was a good first drive. Later on third down, he hit Brian Thomas Jr. in coverage. And we've seen more and more of this effectively work this year. That's Trevor Lawrence rolling out. So that was good to see. I guess it's 17 to 23 is what I see. He did have a couple that sailed, including the interception over Parker Washington's head, picked off by Dewey. That was not a good throw there for Trevor Lawrence. Okay, so let's get to you on this. Let's get you in this hour. Again, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And again, on YouTube, just go to 1010XL into the night. 4704, Ballou, does a bad practice like today make cut down day easier? I asked Liam Cohen about that earlier in the week. He said he's got about 50 guys that he believes are part of this team. So that leaves 3. Yeah, if you're on the bubble and you didn't get the job done today, absolutely. It's going to hurt you. And, it's a combination of a lot of things. I haven't heard anyone else really speak on this, but it drove me freaking insane. You make the team at 51, 52, and 53 based on what? Special teams. And what did you see on Saturday night during special teams? You have to send the best punter in the NFL to run down and make a tackle on special teams? Are you kidding me? I mean, if I'm Liam Cohen, I'm telling Logan Cook to punt the ball and run to the sideline. Okay, that's different once it's Carolina. But your Pro Bowl, he should be a Pro Bowler, punter, has to make a tackle? Yeah. Right there, that's where roster spots are taken away. So, I can't just look at a guy and say because of today's scrimmage, he's out and he's in. But when you get bad, I think it becomes easier. And, the other part of all of this, been talking about just how deep this roster is and how they're going to be cutting some guys that are names that you have recognized. Maybe after what we saw Saturday night, maybe after what we saw again today, the waiver wire is going to be a little bit more active than I assumed. I mean, I thought they would add maybe 1 or 2 players. And some of that's going to have to be what happens with who they place on injured reserve. But I was thinking defensive tackle and maybe another outside linebacker. Now you got to ask yourself, despite 6 new guys coming in, if there's a veteran offensive lineman that they can get. And even if you ask him to be a part of things for, 3, 4, 5 weeks, if there is an injury and someone is out, all of a sudden that comes into play. 30-77. Let's see here. Are you nervous? There are still so many open competitions. Offensive line, safety, corner, linebacker, no real DT plan because of the injuries. Getting close to week 1. I think it's a very fair point of view. And I think that right there, okay, your last sentence with the injuries is the primary reason why they won't play Sunday in New Orleans. Again, I'd play him. We just heard Mark Duffner on. You heard him say he played an entire half in one series to begin the third quarter. I'm going to talk with Antonio Johnson tomorrow. Dewey had a nice practice. I think Johnson has an opportunity to really pick up his game in this new style of defense. The offensive line right now just appears to be, I don't want to say a mess, because they're running the football. They are. Etienne had a good day today. Tank had a good day today. Chutin, I really just believe when it's all said and done, Tutin's going to be the guy. I mean, your starting running back next year could very easily be Tutin, depending on what happens. And again, the trust they had in Allen Jr. later with the ones, not early on. I mean, it was exclusively Etienne early. First drive, second drive, all Etienne. Except for Tank came in closer to the goal line and scored that touchdown. But it was primarily Etienne. And that was certainly the case during the 12 offensive plays that Jacksonville did run in their preseason game number 1 against Pittsburgh. But they brought Allen Jr. in, and he was involved in pass protection, which is pretty cool for a 7th-round pick that you trust him in that situation. So one other thing that should be noted, because of how poor it's been around here forever, and this is a strength with Liam Cohen, the touchdown pass in which Lawrence rolled out and found Brian Thomas Jr., it was on 3rd down, and it was in the red zone. Yada, yada. Have to play them all, give them confidence going into the season. A new coach, struggling team in the past, get the fans something to be excited about with this new regime. I don't think I've ever said anything like this before in 34 years of doing radio, but I really believe this, okay? The game against Carolina is as important for this city as it is for the team. Okay? The team, win or lose, they're going to turn the page. And you look at the schedule after week 1, and it's brutal with 2 road games, including going to Cincinnati. But I'm talking about the mental health of the city. You have to beat Carolina. Okay? It's home. It's Carolina. You have to beat them. And for the Jaguars, it's game 1. There's no such thing as a must-win in week 1. I mean, look at the first year Peterson was here. Look at the second year Lawrence was here. We saw all those come-from-behind victories in the second half of the season, including being down 27-0 in the playoffs. That's the way that professional football players are going to think. If they lose to Carolina, they're going to focus on Cincinnati. But for the city, and a 12-play drive the other night, settling in a field goal, that's fine. That's so much better than what you witnessed a year ago. You took 7 minutes and 19 seconds off the clock. What you want is complimentary football. Be nice if the defense came out and forced a 3-and-out, right? And a punt. Imagine that situation. You're only up 3-0, but you take 7:19 off the clock. You get a 3-and-out. That means they're only taking a little bit off the clock. You get the ball back with the lead, and here comes the tired defense already in the heat. That's complimentary football. 08882 Ballou. According to Cohen, they have 50 positions pretty much established. That doesn't scream competition. Fair point. But, I think you look 9 or 10 offensive linemen. Typically 3 or 4 running backs. I think this team, absolutely, it's 4. 5 or 6 wide receivers, right? What are they going to do there? All of a sudden, you look at a guy who's really picked up his play as of late at wide receivers, Trenton Irwin, right? I can sit here and say, all right, well, you got your top 4. You want 5 and 6 to be special teams guys. Are you better off putting Irwin on the practice squad as a veteran? Okay, and I think the only way he's going to get picked up is if someone else gets injured, because Irwin is like a number 4 wide receiver, if that makes any sense. A guy who plays wide receiver. He's not a guy that's going to play special teams. At least I don't think that is the case with him. But do you understand where I'm going? I mean, Jacksonville's done that with some veterans over the year. What, Taven Austin and Philip Dorsett, and the list just goes on and on. Those guys are based on being, when you're going to have more trust in Irwin as a wide receiver than you are these younger guys like Cephas and what have you, Poncole or whatever it may be, because he's done it. You understand where I'm going? Can you bury him? And then with those rules with the practice squad, if there is attrition, you can call him up. I think that's a fair question. In a situation like that, if you need a 4th wide receiver, the staff may feel more comfortable with Irwin than the young guys that I just mentioned. But I understand your question with, I think it's still blocked off. Fighting a little bit for some starting positions, like, the safeties. Johnson, who I'm talking with tomorrow, Savage, and Wingard to be your 3 safeties on the other side of Eric Murray. I don't think any one of those 3 are in danger of not making the team. Been some speculation, maybe with Savage. But you understand what I'm getting at? Especially with Caleb Bransaw right now being on the shelf. He has not been practicing with this team. All right, let's continue on with your phone call. 641-1010. Getting some really good ones here on our text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Just want to slide on over as well to YouTube, where they're filling it up at 1010XL into the night.
When it comes to your favorite football team, John Osher is oh so sure to find the inside insight to keep you up to date. Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
I'm 1010XL's media mogul, Dan Hicken, and before the weekend hits, I break down what to watch and where to be. Catch Musings with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook, provided by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
Did you know that basketball and volleyball were invented at the YMCA? That's right, and even today, the Y continues to lead the way in youth sports programming, from toddlers just starting out to teams ready to compete. The Y offers skill development, recreational play, and competitive leagues, all in a fun, supportive environment. Get your child in the game to build character and skills at the Y. Registration is now open for youth volleyball and soccer at fcymca.org.
When your plumbing backs up, your septic's acting shady, or your AC quits on a 95-degree day, who are you going to call? Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Don't take just our word for it. Here's what real customers are saying about their experience with our company.
Megan in the office was so helpful and polite. Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services. TysonInc.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Couple of notes on some former Jaguars. Brandon Sheriff announced his retirement a little bit earlier today. Couple of CJs in the news. CJ Henderson signs in Atlanta, and CJ Beathard worked out today with the New York Jets. All right, let's get back to your thoughts after today's scrimmage here in Jacksonville. Again, a Friday practice and then a game Sunday at 1 in New Orleans. 94-76. Hey, Rick, did Brian Thomas Jr. stay after and get some work on the jugs machine? I didn't notice it today. I had an interview with Jordan Jefferson, and I ran over to hear from Campanile and then Trevor Lawrence. So I don't know. A lot of guys were running today. I mean, the defensive line ran wind sprints after the scrimmage. But I don't know if he worked on the jugs machine today. Let's see, 94-76. Hey, Rick, do you think the players can't seem to lock in and execute? Why do you think the players cannot? They're supposed to be professionals. I'm dumbfounded. I have been accused for years of overdoing it, of gushing, right? Oh, he looks good. Oh, he looks good. Oh, he looks great. That's because they do. They are professionals. They are the very best. I mean, I started covering, 34 years ago, college football, Florida State, who had great players. And even though they had great players, you could tell the difference between an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old, right? And some guys just weren't ready. This is different. This is the best of the best of the best. And they're supposed to make plays, certainly when they're doing individual drills. But yeah, it's just really lacked. I don't think it's lack of effort. That's not it. It's just not working. It's a new offensive scheme. It's a new defensive scheme. I mean, it was one play today. I think it was Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. I'll have to look back. Trevor threw a ball. I mean, they were basically like 5 yards away from one another. That's total miscommunication. 0253. Rick, Vegas has the Jags win total at 7.5. What do you think? We need 8 wins to play the over-under. Yeah, I've said all along I would play the over. I would play the over. And, I'm saying that after I witnessed a scrimmage in which if they play that way against Carolina, they're going to lose. But I still think it's the over. Where are you? You still with the over, or have you changed it all?
I think this team wins 7 or 8 games, so I think Vegas has the number right. I would still think this team somehow gets 8 wins, but I would not bet that number.
83-40 Blue. It's all comforting knowing that the offense should only need about 10 yards to get a scoring drive and have our kicker hit a 70-yarder. It is an unbelievable weapon. He kicked one today that was so high. I think it was from 42 yards out. It was so high over the right crossbar. I thought it was no good. We actually went up into the bleachers on the other side. So it was, 60 some odd yards away. Plus, I guess, another 20, 25 yards up in the bleachers. But I thought it was right. And, the referees stood under the goalpost and they said it was good. But this kid's leg is, it's scary. That's why you don't want That's why you don't want Logan Cook making tackles. Yeah, I think Jacksonville has arguably the best kicker-punter combination in the NFL. I really do. And they got a great deep snapper, long snapper. Parker Washington returning punts today. It was good to see Tootin on the other side of Bigsby returning kicks. I love that idea. Let me think. I put it out there. Gunners today. So Daniel Thomas, Antonio Johnson. I'm going to talk with him tomorrow. Ask him about the whole gunner role. Who else did I? Was it Braswell who was out there? So, they lost Tim Jones from a year ago. Some people think that Daniel Thomas isn't going to make the team. If he's in there at safety, it's a liability. He can't cover. And he's very good at special teams, but he's making, $2.25 million. Don't you play Ray Lane? Don't you play some of these younger guys who don't cost anything? 86-27 Blue. Rick, miscommunication is a code for players that truly do not know the playbook. Okay. You know what? I believe a lot of that. And it's complex. This thing's not going to be built. For those, and you didn't see anything, you didn't see a ton of it. You did to some extent. You saw the end around by Brown. You saw the screen to ETN. You saw that everyone got involved. Hunter caught a couple of balls. Thomas was targeted. They went to Brenton Strange. It was good to see. But once you settle in, if this plan goes as advertised, wait till you see the pre-snap motion. Wait till you see design screens, not dump down last option screens, but design screens. And the way that these wide receivers are interchangeable. They're learning. Parker Washington last year learned every wide receiver position. Parker Washington has had a really good camp. Okay? He's probably been the most consistent wide receiver in camp. But you'll see that, Hunter will be in the slot. Then you'll see another play. It's Thomas Jr. in the slot. And I love it. But it's going to take a while to learn. It is. This is exactly why I wanted Liam Cohen as the coach, and I wanted him to call plays. Because this is year 5, and Trevor Lawrence, and whoever else has been around. This is 3 different coaching staffs. What you want is for this offense to be so good that someone comes and snatches up Grant Udinski in a year or two when he's 30 or 31, even though he's not calling plays because they think he's a brilliant offensive mind. Obviously, Udinski is absolutely involved with the game plan and everything that goes into it. I mean, he wouldn't have been hired if not, but it's still Cohen who's calling the plays. So you can afford to lose him, or you can lose a position coach, but you still have your head coach who's in charge of the offense and is calling plays. So let's just assume that next year, and I don't want to talk about next year, but I'm just trying to make a point. Let's just say it's year 6 for Trevor, and Hunter's back, and Thomas Jr.'s back. It's a show me year for Brown. I don't know. They're going to have to make a decision on Washington. You guys, they're all familiar with this. Growing pains, some bumps, took a while. You have an offensive coordinator who's calling plays, and he goes, then you bring, it's totally new again. That's not going to be an issue. But again, that's in the future. You don't care about that. You care about what's going on today. 70-14 Ballou. Why can't Cephas stay on? Well, I think he does stay on. I think he's made the team. But I feel comfortable about saying this. You kind of hope he doesn't make a reception all year. You kind of hope he's used only on special teams. And I'm not saying that as a knock on Cephas. I'm saying that as in the wide receivers stay healthy. And the balls are going to Thomas Jr., Hunter, Brown, and Washington. That's your best case scenario. Your 5 and 6 wide receivers are being used as 4 core special teams guys. Some of this stuff is really good, you guys. Here's a guy going off on Hussey, the Florida State kid who just quit. Who quits 2 weeks before the season? Hussey got into a physical altercation with one of the FSU coaches. Wild story. Guy gave no effort last year. I'm disappointed it didn't work out. But if you're going to fight coaches, go take a hike. Nose. I heard something even better. I heard he ordered DoorDash and he got sick. There's an example right there of today's football in the NIL. Okay? These football players, no matter what you feed them, it doesn't matter what the hell it is. Just give me a whole heck of a lot of it. So here's the guy now saying, I'm not going to eat with my teammates. I'm not going to go and do this, do that. I'm going to relax in my dorm room and order DoorDash. That's just a prime example of today's NIL.
I don't even think that's NIL as much as that's just how kids are now. They just do what they want. I mean, I see it every day in high school football. Kids not even that good, and they'll be telling coaches what they should be doing, and the coach has been coaching for 30 years. He's not even 14 years old.
That is hilarious.
I mean, Well, because they do it at home, and then they just bring it right, to wherever they're at. That's how I look at it.
It's a different world, and it's not only those college football players. It's young men, young women that age. I mean, I look around now, I see these young cats. I don't know how the hell they're affording it. It's got to be their mom and dad. They're drinking these IPAs. It costs $6, $7, $8, $9 a whack. I mean, when I was at Florida State, could I scavenge up $1.99 for a 6-pack of Milwaukee's Best? And that's what you had. Let me tell you something, Dylan. It was tougher in my day. I used to walk uphill to school in the snow, and then after school, after hockey practice, I would walk home lugging the equipment. And if you don't know, I lived up on a hill as well.
I remember back in my day, we had the dollar menu that's now $5. You go to McDonald's for about $6. Yeah, that $6 is now about $11.
Oh, fast food is insane.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere now for less than $15.
Yeah. I don't do the McDonald's, but, if I grab a sub somewhere, pricey.
Yeah, the $5 footlong is long gone.
Mm-hmm. That went away with Jared, right? Did Jared take that with him into the big house?
Yeah.
Jared took the footlong with him. Jared's on the top bunk. I mean, I haven't heard anything about that guy in about 10 years. no idea what happened there. Just awful, just scary. I mean, his documentary's on everything. I saw the one on him a few years back. It was pretty scary. All right, let's bounce out again. Tell you what, I'm going to hold off on the Jordan Jefferson interview. Maybe I'll play that tomorrow because I'm getting a lot of good stuff in for you, and I do feel like that is what we really like to do here on Into the Night is listen to you, listen to your questions, and we've already answered 8 to 10, maybe more, but we got much more to get into. So keep them rolling. For those of you on YouTube, you can see it. And you can join us there at 1010XL Into the Night. And as well, text line 641-1010. Keep it the questions. And that is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since 94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs. Homegrown and now with fries.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. How would you describe the typical engagement ring customer that comes in your store?
Frank, at Underwoods, we often see customers who've shopped around and are totally confused about how to select a diamond. Now, they're looking for somebody qualified who'll tell them the truth and they can trust. They've heard about certification on diamonds, wholesale diamonds, internet diamonds, deals that a friend of a friend can get them, and the prices will range from unbelievably low to unbelievably high. One of the reasons for the confusion is if you look at the factors of grading a diamond, after you know the carat weight, there are 11 grades for cut, 21 grades for color, 11 grades for clarity, so you got 2,541 different possibilities, each with a different price. That's where Underwoods helps straighten out the confusion, because we have the American Gem Society credentialed professionals that'll guide a customer the right diamond for them. One she'll be happy with for the rest of her life.
Underwoods, where customers are served with quality and respect. In San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
The first half champion Jumbo Shrimp are home at newly renovated VyStar Ballpark this week and weekend. Join us tonight for Coors Light Thirsty Thursday and Military Appreciation presented by Tulsa Welding and Outfront Media. Fireworks tomorrow courtesy of the Florida Department of Health, and Saturday the first 2,000 fans through the main gate get a Jumbo Shrimp pickleball paddle courtesy of First Watch. Baseball all weekend.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors. With great ratings and expert reviews, you know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or just stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Their professional design consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
1010 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
When I passed you in the doorway, well, you took me with a glance.
That's what I need tonight is a little thing, Lizzie.
Should have took that last bus.
No Red Sox baseball, no preseason football.
Now we go steady.
Maybe I'll get the GF to do a little bit of late night dancing in the moonlight in Blues Bar. Huh?
He says I'm living in a trance, but I'm dancing in the moonlight. It's got me in the spotlight.
Oh, man. You go, Phil. One of the great bassist lead singers of the original Irish band. You know, I've met this lady, an acquaintance, and every time that I see her, she would have been the greatest flower child from the 60s. I mean, I'm talking mama and papas, the mamas and the papas. I'm talking Weed. I'm talking Creedence Clearwater Revival. I'm talking Hunter S. Thompson. I'm talking Flowers in the Hair. I'm talking Charles Manson. I'm talking Hayden Ashbury. And she's got kind of the dreary eyes and the smile. So she was born years too late. Perhaps I was too. Although not many of you would agree with that. I kind of wish I was around for that. You ever find yourself wondering what it would have been like to be a hippie on Hayden Ashbury?
Not exactly that, but I always say I was born in the wrong generation. I wish I would have grown up I wish I would have been a teen going in my 20s, like in the 90s, not being born in the late 90s.
The 80s were insane. The 80s were great. You can get away with anything in the 80s. That's the thing. You can get away with stuff in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You can't get away with anything anymore.
Crime.
I mean, nothing. I'm not talking about crime. I'm just talking about you got caught wasted in a bar, right?
Yeah, everyth's on video now.
Well, back in my day when you got wasted in a bar, you didn't have to worry about it. It was just gossip, and it was gone. Now it's, I'm sitting at home at night just doing my stuff, and all these reels pop up, and it's fights, and it's people doing foolish stuff, and it happens to football players and celebrities. It's really kind of crazy. 80-25, it would be foolish not to play the starters. I agree. I absolutely agree. A lot of my colleagues, Hayes and I talked about it on Duval Rundown yesterday at 9:04. He thinks the starters sit. So there's some out there that absolutely do not think that is going to be the case. 35-25 Ballou. Could Travis on either offense or defense, but just one, if you could have Travis just one, which would you be picking? You know what? I'm going to stay with offense because they scored 18.8 points a game a year ago. And I would much rather, nothing is perfect. And there's going to be issues after the year. But I would much rather have this offense go from 18.8 points to go to 24 points a game. They're scoring. Okay, if your defense is an issue, fine. But you understand what I'm saying? I'd rather lose 27-24 than lose 12-7. I'd rather have this team score on their opening drive, even if it's a field goal. Put up some points in the first quarter. Put up some points in the first half. They averaged just over 8 points last year. Every time you went to the lavatory, grabbed a beer and a hot dog, and came back and sat down, the Jaguars are averaging 3 points in the first quarter and 8 points at half. That means you're losing. That means you're trailing. So, offense. Offense. Score more. That's the way I look at it. And there's other assets with that. I mean, you know that all of a sudden he is a bona fide weapon, and that relationship is developing with Liam Cohen, the play caller, and Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback. 0939 Blue, I'm worried about our defensive tackles. Any interest in Christian Watkins? You know, they got Mason Smith back today. The Eric Armstead situation is, we just don't know. Yeah, I did say that on Tuesday. I thought it was the best day that I've seen him have. He was working. He was rehabilitating. All of these stories with Watkins, I just don't know. I mean, obviously Trevor and Travis Etienne, played with him in college. Here's what I know. Here's what I believe. They vetted it. I mean, they've tried to sort this thing out. I think there's a reason why he hasn't been picked up. And, yeah, he's going to cost a bit, but is he going to be more of a deterrent in a locker room? Is he actually going to be, a good football player? I don't think anyone's questioning his skills, particularly when he's healthy. Some of the stuff out of Las Vegas I've heard, I don't know whether or not to believe it. To be honest with you, it kind of just passed by and said, whatever. The kids enjoying driving lifted at 70. Yeah. I guess that has something to do with. Do you understand that the kids in Jones Creek driving? Oh, driving lifted $70K trucks. Oh yeah. Mama and daddy, it's our fault.
They got a nice squat where the back leans a little bit, so it's almost like it's a tilt. That's the stupidest thing.
Look out for the gangs in Jointon Creek. The Beast, $3.99 a case. Milwaukee's best. Schaefer Light we have. Hey, don't knock Schaefer. My dad and his buddies, they drank a ton of that growing up. It was actually Schaefer Stadium where the Patriots played. Those old bleachers, metal bleachers. And they jammed Schaefer's in my down jacket. Walk me in. No respect anywhere in society. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's one of the comments that we had with the kids. All right, here we go. Jared is still in prison till 2029. So, the man of the 5 foot or the foot long $5 sub. And what did he lose, like a couple 100 pounds or something by just eating Subway, if I remember the story correctly?
I think that's correct. They were like showing his pants in the commercials, like, hey, this is how much weight I've lost. And then.
Yeah, he ended up becoming a huge pervert. Awful. I remember watching the documentary, I was shocked. You talk about a guy that doesn't look, the description doesn't fit it. I mean, he just looked like a nerdy guy next door. And then you find out actually what he was a part of. It was just awful, just scary. Absolutely no remorse for that. All right. Good stuff coming in. More coming up as well. Let's get over here to that. I keep mentioning YouTube. Let's grab some stuff here on the YouTube side. Got a lot of people. We got Philip Birch, who's telling me panic for practice in August. Please, Cat Ballou. Duval till we drive. Duval till we die. Cat Ballou, an old Western from the late 70s, I believe. Cat Ballou. All right, let's go. Let's do that and get you ready as well. Hacker will join you at 8.
This is Joe C. from XLP, and I hope you will join us at the Hodges Ale House, corner of Hodges and Beach Boulevard, as we say farewell to our head coach, Dave Campo, Tuesday the 19th. Make sure you're there noon to 2 with XLP.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 3rd through 5th at Timuquana Country Club. Catch the new community concert series on the 17th hole after play, featuring country artists Low Cash and Love and Theft. Public parking is free with complimentary tournament access for military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get tickets now for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, starting at just $25 at Ticketmaster.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Henson with the Henson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
I insist on complete honesty.
You can chime in anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
If you have something to say to me, I wish you would just say it.
Share your opinion.
Are you nuts? What?
641-1010.
That's crazy.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Every joint in the body was designed for movement. Inactivity can cause stiffness, weakness, weight gain, and decrease in overall balance. So you should strive for at least 30 minutes a day of exercises that promote flexibility like yoga, strengthening with weights, and cardiovascular fitness like walking, swimming, or biking. The more you move, the better you will feel, and your overall health will benefit. Let's get healthy, Jacks. Go Jags.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie, and I got to tell you, I can't fix anything. I would be so lost with plumbing problems if not for Duck Duck Rooter. But everybody knows to call the Duck. Well, I do too. Whether it's plumbing, air conditioning, septic, they handle all of it, and nobody does a better job than our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. Any of those needs you have, call them today, 904-862-6769, or go to duckduckrooter.com. If you've got problems, call Duck Duck Rooter. They'll handle it. I guarantee it.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Cleaning Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house Zero Resified. And right now, you can get your entire home cleaned from Jacksonville's ultimate carpet cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound, that's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
1010XL is presented by Barra & Barra, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, so today's scrimmage didn't go as advertised. It was sloppy, no doubt about it. 10 penalties, 7 drops. Just not a great day. It is absolutely a teaching moment now for Liam Cohen and the staff. It'll be very intriguing to see how things do change. If, in fact, this whole thing has been fluid, does that now change? I asked Trevor Lawrence about that after practice. Is it now a deal where because they didn't play the way that they wanted to, they're absolutely playing Sunday in New Orleans? You heard Mark Duffner, who I brought on. He said he played him an entire half and gave him 1 series to begin the third quarter. So a lot of my colleagues, not all here, but just in the media in general, seem to think that that is not going to be the case, and they will not play. Big blow today. Anton Harrison went down. It's undisclosed. They end up using 6 right tackles with the first team. Fred Johnson, Patrick McCarry, who was the odd man out early on. Chuma Adoga started at right guard. Wyatt Milam, Walker Little switched tackle positions, and Chuma Edoga all got work there. Good news today, Mason Smith off the pup. He didn't work during the scrimmage, but he is absolutely going to be counted on to get himself ready, certainly by that opener against the Carolina Panthers.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hacker Nation is here. What did you think?
I'm more concerned now than I probably was this morning. When you have that many penalties and that many drops, and look, Trevor Lawrence said it, all these things are correctable. Although we heard that after Saturday's game as well. And now here we are 5 days later, and they're still correctable 120 hours later, I suppose. But when are they actually going to get corrected? Are we going to be sitting here another 120 hours from now when they do the same thing in New Orleans? And are we going to say, well, they're correctable? At some point, correctable things need to be corrected, and we're not seeing that right now, and it's beginning to get concerning.
Yeah, and, in my opinion, the bottom line is if they play Carolina the way they played in the scrimmage today, they're losing.
And they will get booed.
Yeah.
It will not be pretty if that's the way it works. Now, look, it wasn't terrible, but when you're a professional football team and you have 7 drops and 10 penalties, I believe is what it was, I mean, that's not a good day at the office. Now, the defense did some nice things. Brian Thomas Jr. did some nice things. I thought there were some glimpses of the offense. But at the end of the day, you need to catch the ball and you need to stop making penalties. And the pre-snap stuff, I don't get. The false starts and this, that, and the other. I mean, what are we doing 3 weeks into camp still doing that pretty consistently?
Yeah, and it doesn't look like there's mental exhaustion. It doesn't look like they're, fatigued physically. I don't think it's the lack of enthusiasm or juice. They're just not on top of their assignments.
Yeah, that's basically what it boils down to. I mean, you could break it down any way you want, but that certainly appears to be the case. I heard you talking about Anton Harrison. That must have happened towards the end of practice. I did see him walking off to the sideline at the end of practice, gingerly, I guess is how I would describe it. So, I don't know the severity of it, but he was out there for the entire practice because as I'm waiting for Ezra Cleveland, who I'm talking to tonight, I saw Anton Harrison still on the field. But yeah, that would be significant if there's anything to that. Hopefully it's not much and he'll be back in, a week or two.
Yeah, they treated this like a real scrimmage with benches on both sides and everything today. And, that's a bummer for me because I wanted to see how this competition worked out. It obviously, not obviously, but it felt like it was coming down to Harrison and Makari. I feel like Edoga's won, that right guard position. And I wanted to see it be decided by this coaching staff as they think this is the best 5. I would hate if, in fact, this is decided now because of attrition.
So you think Edoga is going to be the right guard?
I do.
Okay, so, and I don't disagree with you. If Edoga's the right guard and Anton Harrison's the right tackle, that's a disaster. Because you paid Patrick Makari a lot of money. So Ezra Cleveland's not going anywhere. I mean, Walker Little, Makari, I guess, has played center, but Hainsey's pretty good. Makari, based on his contract, has to start, does he not? I mean, doesn't it get political at that point?
I mean, to pay him that much money, he was their big money offensive lineman. I think they paid Edoga $7 million over 2 years.
Right. He's been a very, very pleasant surprise. I don't disagree with you that some guys have played better than Makari, and Makari's been limited with the back. If he's healthy, I would be flabbergasted if he's not starting on September 7th somewhere on that offensive line.
I watched Harrison have a really good rep today, on one-on-ones against Trayvon Walker. The other school of thought was, and I know we've discussed it, if he didn't go down today, would Harrison get some work at the left tackle position? Because...
And we saw that at the initial scrimmage.
Walker Little is making a lot of money and he's signed, but he's not their signing. He's not a Gladstone, Baselli, Cohen signing.
Yeah, and and I think it was Trevor was asked about this. I think Udinski might have been asked about this. You might have asked one of these questions. It's nice to have versatility on the line. It's nice to play a guy at left guard one series and then at right tackle the next series, and that's all fine and well. We're 24 games until the opener. At a certain point, You need to find out who your 5 offensive linemen are so they can get some work together. That is going to be a major talking point as we move forward here.
All right, what do you got coming up?
Speaking of that offensive line, maybe the best offensive lineman in camp's been Ezra Cleveland. I'm going to talk to him. He's my Jaguar training camp one-on-one. He was kind of let out to pasture by a lot of people, including myself. I'm not going to throw stones in a glass house. He has absolutely won that left guard spot. So Ezra Cleveland's going to join me, and we will go out to New Orleans. My guy out in New Orleans, Fletcher Mackel, he's a sports director of the NBC TV affiliate out there. We'll get the Saints' perspective on this game coming up on Sunday.
Enjoy.
Thanks, Rick.
There he goes. Hacker Nation coming up right now. That's going to do it for us. Dylan, you're off tomorrow night for crying out loud. What you got going on? You hooking up with that flower girl I told you about?
I got a kickoff game tomorrow.
That's right.
I'll be in Baldwin.
There you go. Have some fun out there. So I guess it's RJ in tomorrow night. But we'll have plenty to do at 6 o'clock, and that'll include an update from the Jaguars, what will be 16th overall training camp practice tomorrow morning at the Miller Electric Center. Thank you to Mark Duffner for doing Denmark. Again, I'm Rick Ballou. We'll talk tomorrow at 6.